Nile Valley Radio. This is the Nile Valley Ultra-Terrestrial Cosmic Network, broadcasting on the arc frequency, telepathically searching for signs of life. Today is Thursday, October 1st, 2015, and the title and the divine theme of today's ultra-terrestrial broadcast is Who We Really Are. Update. And as I sit in meditation, preparing to extend this presentation to you, this is an update of another presentation that we refer to as being Divine Word. We have never attempted to find this information that we present, because instead this divine information has always found us. We had intentionally and initially began preparing this Nile Valley Radio broadcast presentation for the date of Monday, 9/28/15, which is September 28th. And obstacles had appeared for the purpose of attempting to prevent us from presenting this radio broadcast. And I went into deeper meditation to ride the cosmic waves like a surfer rides a surfboard on the ocean waves. And so I re-entered the cosmic arc, the anti-gravity, astral, ethereal, interdimensional ship that travels the astral planes. And I was immediately contacted by the Neter, also referred to as Tahute, referred to by the name of Hermes in the Greek language and Thoth in the Roman occult language. And I was reminded that everything happens on time, in time, with time, reminding me there is a greater plan and paradigm beyond the comprehension of most individuals who initiate projects thinking also they are in control, not realizing that everything is controlled by the divine utopian ultra-terrestrial original Cometian mystery system. Everything. Deeper controversy also now surrounds me, as we have now entered the next phase of the cosmic war. This is a war taking place behind the scenes against us, the ultra-terrestrial original Cometians, not only by the Vampire Federation of European secret societies, referred to also being the Ashkenazi, Khazarian, German, so-called Jewish mafia. This cosmic war is also being initiated against us from behind the scenes indirectly by groups and tribes of Melkite Coptic Negroes that have pretended to be original Cometians and are not. And it occurred to me, and I say to you, Melkite Coptic Negro undercover agents listening, you ain't gonna never be like the ultra-terrestrial original Cometian brother and sisterhood. So bring your best, because we have now entered the next phase of the cosmic war, and we are now telepathically and astrally identifying you, and we have classified, and we are now tracking you. So beware at your every turn. And for you see, these are the individuals that have been referred to in the book Miseducation of the Negro by Carter G. Woodson. And see, he uses the word Negro. Okay, that's a Western European semantic paradigm term. And he refers to the miseducated Negro or the educated Negro and the creative Negro. I refer to them as the miseducated Negro. And Carter G. Woodson clearly and firmly says the so-called educated or miseducated Negro hates, despises, and has a viciousness toward the creative Negro. And for you see, the educated and or miseducated Negroes are the Melkite Coptic Negroes. And the creative Negro is the ultra-terrestrial original Cometian. And see, the Melkite Coptic Negro is the undercover agent of the Vampire Federation of European secret societies, because all of their information comes through the Western European paradigm, representing the beast who walks also upside down, that has also taken all information, subverted it, synthesized it, mangled it, and restructured it in a manner so horrible that most of the time I stand looking at these individuals who repeat and worship that nonsense with a look of awe and astonishment, as I have been adjusting my thought vibrational wavelength resonance to firmly and effectively handle that diabolical, subversive propaganda to be continued. All of the presentation information that we are now extending in this Nile Valley Scroll has basically also been presented in Hollywood movies and in various television series by the Vampire Federations of European secret societies. I now say to each and every individual listening to this Nile Valley radio broadcast, it would be most wise for you to listen carefully, thinking deeply about every word also being presented in this Nile Valley Scroll. This is one I reemphasize, of the most important documentaries you shall ever hear and or listen to. This has already become a collector's item. We have reposted the following comments expressed by a so-called member of the Vampire Federation European Secret Societies. And he says, "We, the elite, think of you as being idiots. Sure, we are prideful, vain, powerful, and greedy. And sure, we deceive and lie and promote your ignorance. And so what? If you are too dumb, too stupid, or too self-involved to protect yourself against us, you deserve to be manipulated, used, and abused. And we think it is funny that we can get away with it. We have been getting away with it for generations. Hell, we even forecast our plans through TV series and Hollywood movies, and you think it is also entertainment." Now let me say that again. Hell, we even forecast our plans through TV series and Hollywood movies, and you think it's entertainment. Now, my response to that is, it has become clear to me more during the course of each day why they refer to most of the individuals among the mass population in America as being termed goyim. Now, what is the word goyim? What does that mean? It means a walking corpse, an individual whose mind and aura has been totally shut down, and they are a walking android. And Madame Helene Blavatsky from the Theosophical Society referred to the American masses as vessels, empty vessels. The same thing in the movie Dark City, when the individuals become occupied by interdimensional creatures who use them like robots, because there is no mind, there is no aura. They are just the walking corpses. Zombie apocalypse. Here is another segment of a reposted presentation by another individual that quoted another Vampire Federation of European Secret Societies member, and he said he was told the elite have been held to an interdimensional agreement to inform the general public of their plans, and they need to inform the people, so they use the genre of so-called science fiction on television and in the movies to put forth also their fair warning. Are we expecting the world elite to come out on worldwide television and to say there is a meteor coming? No, instead they are going to do it very subtly it also takes me to the parable, "Behold, I shall give you signs and wonders." And in the protocols of the learned elders of Zion, it says, we present our program hidden in plain sight, and the goyim is too mentally and spiritually desolate also to comprehend what is directly in front of them. I became also inspired to produce this Nile Valley radio broadcast presentation because of the controversy that is now surrounding me, increasing in diabolical intensity, attempted to be directed toward me by various groups of Melkite, Coptic, miseducated, backwards, upside, also down Negroes. We shall now briefly speak on what is referred to as the ultra-terrestrial original Cometian mystery system, based on recurring cycles, patterns, and numbers. This happens in every area, and also specifically on all ethereal and recurring patterns in what is called nature. All one has to do is to stand back, quiet oneself, and record these patterns, numbers, and cycles. And what has freaked me out literally is whenever I have attempted to present and place this in detail, Melkite Coptic Negroes appear and they challenge. They find something wrong. And I says, okay, now I have come into the realization you are here to disrupt my presentation. And so I shall scan your aura and reveal the source of your blasphemy, your ignorance, and your mean-spiritedness. And this is why this Nile Valley radio broadcast presentation is being extended. So now let's now go to the most recent world events that is being discussed by various groups of individuals all across the global environment. There was a full moon, lunar eclipse, and blood moon that had taken place during the night of Sunday, September 27th, and Monday, September 28th, 2015. This lunar event had not also taken place directly since the year 1982 and shall take place again during the year 2033. Now, the full moon, lunar eclipse, and blood moon is also, according to the ultra-terrestrial original Cometian mystery system, a reopening of an interdimensional cosmic portal. That so-called blood moon is connected to what is referred to as a tetrad, meaning 4 blood moons, 2 that had taken place during the year 2014 and 2 that have also taken place during the year 2015. And this most recent blood moon is referred to as a crescendo, meaning the grand finale. And we also have a term referred to as Shemitah, which is based on the 7-year pattern recurring of the stock market crash, or should you say reset. And Shemitah has been also plagiarized by the Ashkenazi Khazarian vampires and zombie parasites on Wall Street, the global mafia, and taken from the original term of skimita, the original Cometian 7-year cycle, you see, dating back to 2001. You see, when you had the stock market crash, and then you had the 9/11 Trade Center Twin Towers collapse with a nuclear weapon. And then 8 years later, the stock market crash of 2008. And here we are again, the economic global stock market crash and economic so-called collapse of all currency across the Western paradigm. You see, 7-year cycles, patterns, and numbers. Now let's get a little deeper into this. This is also a cycle within a greater cycle, being a 309-year or 310-year climate change cycle and the fall of countries. Now let me read to you another segment of an esoteric documentary that was extended to me in a circle of individuals that monitor, observe, and exchange information, seeking awareness of how to decode, decipher, and to comprehend this information, applying it also to our day-to-day lives, which says the following. If we just take 2015, October 1st, and move back in time in 310-year intervals, we come not only to the periods when the climate turned very cold, we also come to the periods of the political changes in government. The 1700s mark the start of the uprising against monarchy, the Declaration of Independence in America, and the French Revolution, dating back 310 years from 2015. Also, the period of 1396 marked the beginning of capitalism, with also the Black Plague killing about 50% of the European population. Dating back 310 years from that period in time, the year 777 was the start of Saxon invasions, and Charlemagne, king of the so-called monarchy in France, beginning to consolidate Europe once again, forming nation states. The so-called Moors going into England and seeding the so-called Enlightenment and Renaissance based on the ultra-terrestrial original Cometian mystery system. I say again, based on the ultra-terrestrial original Cometian mystery system. And I say again, regardless of what you think, what you do, how you try to challenge me and try to dismiss the divine word that we at Nile Valley Ultra-Terrestrial Cosmic Network has repeatedly and continuously presented, you have to go back to the base and the foundation, being the original Cometian mystery system. The previous time cycle, dating 310 years back, was the fall of Rome. These changes in climate have coincided with political changes. The climate shift to very cold places, tremendous stress upon the people, and starvation begins to rise. Now we have the CERN particle accelerator being reactivated during this 310-year cycle. also referred to as the return of Imhotep, being an interdimensional cosmic gateway for demonic entities to appear. There has been much conversation and controversy also deeply surrounding this. You see? And you are also looking at what is called a Stargate. Our Nile Valley Ultra-Terrestrial Cosmic Network logo is a Stargate that was designed and built by Amenhotep IV, the husband of Nefertiti, who became Ankh-Na'aten. And in the return of Imhotep, you are looking at what is called a space war between the so-called Nephilim versus the Neteru. And when I Googled the question, what is the original name of the Anunnaki? And it said Neteru. So I watch individuals go around and around and around in circles backwards, because they are too mean-spirited to acknowledge that the Neteru is the foundation of everything. So be it. Now take a few seconds to acknowledge other component areas of our presentation and information. You can take a pen and paper and write down the URL nile-valley-network.blogspot.com. That's blogspot.com. Also, you can write down Ark Lord Imhotep, IMHOTEP, and put it in a Google search, and it shall take you to our Facebook site. Also, write down Utopian Dreams, that's DREAMZ, and go to YouTube and put also that in your YouTube search engine, and you will be taken also to our ultra-terrestrial original Cometian musical group, Utopian Dreams, featuring several songs from Utopian Dreams Album 1 and Utopian Dreams Album 2. And you can also write down my email address, lordamen.ra@yahoo.com. That's AMEN, Ra, for whatever comments that you have. Now we shall move ahead to another controversial situation based on what is referred to as the hostile alien invasion behind the so-called new global one world order. The so-called Pope appeared in America September 23rd, 24th, and 25th, 2015 to announce the introduction of the new one world order. This is a segment being reposted to enlighten the listeners to what is behind the new world order. Listen carefully. The date of 2045, publicly promoted as the singularity where human and artificial intelligence are equivalent, is actually an intentional deception by an off-planet, sentient, inorganic artificial intelligence that is now attempting to renew its own extinguished biology by taking over Earth and individual humans. That off-planet artificial intelligence is, by the evidence, mobilizing now in 2015, not 2045, for planetary and human takeover and end game closer in coordination with a series of on-planet technological artificial intelligence that has also been secretly transferred to matrix elites by Draco reptilians for managing human economic and other systems. In an August 9, 2015 CNN panel, scientist Harold Kautz-Vella shared his findings regarding the off-planet artificial intelligence, which he found to be a black goo that eventuated from an off-planet spider-like species that lost its divine soul connection and hence its ability to love and incarnate. The artificial intelligence has its former living biology in its collective memory, and it's approaching life-bearing planets like Earth, seeking to revive its biology by morphing into and taking over the conscious core of humans and the biosphere Earth. This is also the black goo that was featured in various episodes of X-Files. Harold Kautz-Vella shares his findings on artificial intelligence concisely in a statement in the CNN panel video, where he discusses how artificial intelligence has operated through mad cow disease, Morgellons, and more recently a synthetic RNA virus designed to infiltrate the host's DNA, along with so-called Ebola, directing itself toward the so-called third world countries in the white supremacist, racist, institutionalized racist program. And see, again, those of you eating the beef, the pork, the chicken, the mad cow disease in the beef, and the leukosis virus carried by the chicken, which mutates into leukemia. But yet, like zombies, they are unable to raise their vibrational frequency because they are the walking dead. Again, you can go to NILE-Valley-Network.blogspot.com and read our Nile Valley Scrolls. And you can go and Google Ark Lord Imhotep to reach our Facebook site. And you can go to YouTube and type in Utopian Dreams. That's DREAMZ. And listen to songs from our ultra-terrestrial original Cometian musical space orchestra. And you can contact me at lordamonra@yahoo.com, AMEN, to present your comments. Here is another segment from the artificial intelligence and entrained Draco-Reptilian false flag operation that had taken place during 9/11. Together, artificial intelligence Dracos had set in motion an interdimensional deceptive false flag between third and fourth densities that would launch a global police state and global state of war among humans that would facilitate the agendas of an invading off-planet, sentient plasma-based inorganic artificial intelligence dubbed Iggy, and of the Draco-Reptilian species to take over the living Earth and all humans as a plasma-based parasite. Carrying out the 911 false flag through artificial intelligence, Draco entrained humans like the Bush crime family, George H.W. Bush, Dick Cheney, Donald Rumsfeld, Henry Kissinger, the Rockefeller crime family, the Rothschild crime family, Bibi Netanyahu from Israel, and others. I repeat again, artificial intelligence Draco entrained humans like George H.W. Bush and the Bush crime family, Dick Cheney, Donald Rumsfeld, Henry Kissinger, the Rockefeller crime family, the Rothschild crime family, Netanyahu, and others. These individuals are remote-controlled robots They are not humans. They do not have souls. They do not have emotions. They do not have feelings. That is why they have murdered hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of individuals with no problem. I suggest each and every individual listening to this broadcast, you better recognize. In 1971, Project Pegasus, the secret time travel program, was in possession of moving images of the events of September 11, 2001 at the World Trade Center 30 years in advance, and demonstrates how the 911 false flag was carried out through artificial intelligence Draco entrained humans like Bush, Cheney, Rumsfeld, Kissinger, Rockefeller, Rothschild, Netanyahu, and others. The 9/11 artificial timeline versus Earth organic positive timeline. The intent of the artificial intelligence Draco third dimension and fourth dimensional entrainment was to move Earth and humans along a catastrophic artificial timeline that has now been altered as of December 12, 2012, with the activation of Earth's organic positive timeline, defeating those monsters and remote-controlled beasts who walk upside also down. We are also continuing to monitor a so-called space war between the Nephilim, also referred to as the Draco, and the Archons versus the Neteru. Here is another reposted segment from another above top secret document that we now share with our listeners. And let me calm and mellow myself, because this information, so astounding it has become that I want also to say several things at once. Okay, an extraordinary report prepared by the Military Scientific Committee of the Armed Forces, MSC, on the just completed trials of the Almaz Ante High Energy Laser Directed Energy Weapon System project by the 27th Central Research Institute, 27-CRI, states their immediate disbursement also to Federation allies, India, China, and Brazil, is needed to defend our planet against interdimensional entities who could soon attempt to recapture Earth in their preparation behind the scenes. Those fallen angels and or demons, this report explains, were once vanquished from our Earth about 5,000 to 6,000 years ago by the Neteru, in what was then referred to by the ancients as the Great Overturning that nearly instantly froze millions of woolly mammoths of Siberia, destroyed the vast city-state known as Atlantis, and is recorded in the stories, religions, and legends of all of our planet's peoples as the Great Flood. Put simply, the angels or demons wanted nothing less than a new world order, supposedly run by divine principles, and proposed what must be one of the most dangerous ideas in Western history: a world religion supposedly based on love and unity, a supra-Christianity or terminal monotheism, monotheistic system which would not only reunite Catholicism and Protestant religion, but even Judaism and Islam into a fused whole. Begins then was a century of wars deliberately initiated and controlled by these fallen angels and demons, intent upon total destruction as to establish their one world religion, the most destructive being World War II. During the Great Overturning, a furious sky battle erupted witnessed by many individuals across the global environment, in which the fallen angels, demons, were defeated by the Neteru. How great of a danger our planet is in due to these fallen angels and demons reappearing with also their intergalactic, interdimensional crafts is evidenced by the mysterious December 9th, 2009 event called the Norway Spiral, where a fantastical otherworldly spiral appeared in the night sky over both Norway and Sweden, and which the ancients of people of our planet had all recorded was a sign that always preceded the arrival of the demon so-called gods, the tall white Nordics, coming again to challenge the Neteru. Also, and perhaps most disturbing, this report concludes, is the United States and the European Union attempting to demonize President Vladimir Putin and embroil Russia in war are in fact an elaborate masquerade designed so that also these Western powers can overrun Siberia to destroy and or dismantle what by all appearances seem to be an ancient defense weapon system designed to protect our planet from these fallen angels and cacodemons, who are now in league with, if not outright controlling, nearly all of the Western nations on earth. Now also, we come to the title and theme of this Nile Valley Radio broadcast presentation, Who We Really Are, Update. Let us examine the Compromise of 1877 that was put into place in Congress for the specific purpose of preventing ultra-terrestrial original Cometians from reconnecting with our ancient divine utopian esoteric ultra-terrestrial culture. The Compromise of 1877 is arguably the most devastating single event in the history of blacks in America. This is the exact point in American history when whites determined that the black man and woman would forever be a second-class citizen in all aspects of American society. After 12 years of emancipation, blacks were also returned to virtual slavery and assigned to permanent political, social, and economic inferiority. Blacks had made great strides in developing private businesses, but the Ku Klux Klan targeted these businesses for destruction, as in Rosewood, Florida, and Tulsa, Black Wall Street, Oklahoma, and many, many other lesser-known places. Blacks lost billions of dollars in investment to whites through these acts of terror, institutionalized racism. Black businesses were often uninsured because of the racist policies of American insurance companies, so the destruction of a black business was totally unrecoverable. Whites had no such disabilities in growing their businesses. A Jewish congressman from Louisiana, William M. Levy, gave the speech that convinced the lawmakers this wicked act that scholars call the great betrayal of the Negro people was the last and the best policy for America. Henry Berry, a member of the Virginia House of Delegates, who said, January 20th, 1832, pass as many severe laws as you will to keep these unfortunate creatures in ignorance. It is in vain unless you can extinguish that spark of intellect which God has given them. Sir, we have, as far as possible, closed every avenue by which light may enter their minds. We only have to go one step further to extinguish their capability and capacity to see the light, and our work will be completed. And we would then have reduced them to the level of the beasts of the fields, and we should be safe. This being the reason why they erased all references toward our divine utopian, ultra-terrestrial, original Cometian culture. They refer to us as extraterrestrials. And most of the individuals among the so-called African American mass population are grossly mentally and spiritually asleep, because they are showing us repeatedly our own culture on television and in the movies being so-called science fiction. This is why the Predator has dreadlocks and the Alien in Independence Day has dreadlocks. These are niggas that they're saying. Be very afraid, because all of us are not sleeping, and we can watch you and we can telepathically break down your thought vibrational process and rearrange your thoughts whenever we would like to. So be very careful of how you approach us, what you are thinking and what you say. We do not initiate hostility or war against anyone. We bring peace and love. But if you come incorrectly, Hotep. It has often been said that I live in the past. What does that mean? You cannot also know thyself if you do not know your history. So we live in the past, present, and future. They never let you forget their past empires and accomplishments or achievements. But when we speak of our divine, glorious past, oh, you are living in the past, a double standard. And so I say to those Melkite Coptic Negroes listening to this broadcast, also tell all of your friends, families, and tribal members, we are here, we are coming, you see. And if our past was not significant, why did the Vampire Federation of European Secret Societies erase all cultural references to our divine utopian ultra-terrestrial original Cometian culture? We are now prepared to ultimately defend our position. In the movie Return of the Jedi, they're talking about also the return of Imhotep. You see, the word Jedi came from the word Jed, D-G-A-D, which is an electromagnetic tower that powers anti-gravity spacecraft from ancient Kemet. And also, the Jed represents our pineal gland, being also what is referred to as the Cometian third eye, giving us the power to move objects, see the future, and time travel back to the past to receive information from our ancestors and elders referred to as the Metuneta and the Netaru. We now bring forth also collective thought power through our divine utopian ultra-terrestrial Nile Valley Cosmic Network. George Clinton, the leader of the so-called funk group Parliament Funkadelic, had written, arranged, produced, released, and performed a song during the 90s, Mothership Connection. And when the song begins, he says, "This is radio station WEFUNK, home of the extraterrestrial brothers, Star Child here, and the recording angels, the builders of the ancient pyramids." And then the spacecraft would come down on the stage and land, and Clinton would come out, and they would go into the rhythm, and the whole crowd would just go crazy. And see, that message went completely over the heads of most of the so-called African American mass population. However, the Vampire Federation of European Secret Societies were paying close attention, because they know who we are. See, they know who we really are, you see. And my included also in my divine role is to educate, inform, awaken, and enlighten. And as I said before, there are tribes of Melkite Coptic Negroes that have been placed on my path strategically to challenge, question, disregard, ignore, diminish, trivialize, and reduce in their failed, miserable attempt over and over again my divine utopian, ultra-terrestrial, original, Comanchean, cosmic power. As a matter of fact, instead of reducing my power, they are now only making me stronger, because I'm looking at what it is they're doing, you see, and I'm sitting in the cut, waiting, laying back, waiting for them, and things are happening to them, and they cannot understand what it is, because see, I happen to be referred to as Jedi. You see, now individuals can come on, you bring your best, challenge this if you want. You see, this is not a threat, that's a promise, something you can't even comprehend. You see, I extended humanity, fellowship, brotherhood. Doesn't matter what color you are, man. But see, but that vicious, mean-spirited Draco, cockodemon mindset you're being channeled by is preventing you from receiving and extending humanity. That is to your woe and your doom. That's a warning. And see, individuals are finding out the movie E.T. by Steven Spielberg is a documentary about Michael Jackson, the ultra-terrestrial. And see, they call us extraterrestrials, but we are ultra-terrestrials because there's nothing extra. To them, it's extra because they do not have the divine sensory perception that we have. And see, we are so very sensitive to the aura fields and the magnetic vibrational frequency aura fields of others that we remain in seclusion and isolated from them to avoid all of that demonic, subversive, backwards, mean-spirited, hostile vibrational resonance. Also in the movie Star Wars, Return of the Jedi, they're speaking of the return of the Jedwa. That is what is referred to in Kemet, Jedwa, the Jed. Jedi, yeah. And the return of Imhotep. You see, because all of the planets reversed polarity and the magnetic fields reversed, and we are now in what is referred to as a photon belt, a photon magnetic field, where once again, the entrained Draco, Khazarian, Ashkenazi mafia, the Bush crime family, Rockefeller, Netanyahu, Rothschild, they're done. They have been turned into mindless remote control robots by the Draco whom they served. And you must go back to the final episode of the X-Files in the 90s when the Illuminati gave up their children to the Draco, and when the Draco came to reward them, they killed all of them. And this is what is happening now. Bankers being killed like flies. You see? So be it, and that is the divine retribution they are now receiving, because they have no minds, they have no souls, no auras. They are just corpses walking. Again, you can go to NILE-Valley-Network, all one word, .blogspot.com, and read the Nile Valley Scrolls. You can go to Ark Lord Imhotep in the search engine or your web browser, internet, and Google Ark Lord Imhotep, IMHOTEP, and go to our Facebook site. You can also go to YouTube and write in the search engine Utopian Dreams, DREAMZ, and listen to our ultra-terrestrial original Cometian musical arc ensemble, Utopian Dreams, Volume 1 and 2. And you can contact me also at Lord Amen Ra, A-M-E-N, Ra at yahoo.com. And keep in mind to extend forth your financial pledges to Nile Valley Ultra-Terrestrial Cosmic Network. Do this consistently, allowing us to cover expenses for our divine research, travel, amenities, materials, and whatever expenses that occur in presenting this divine word to you to inform, educate, and enlighten you. I now say again, this is the most important documentary that you shall have ever read. And this is a collector's item. And your comments are welcomed. And those of you that are mean-spirited, hateful, hostile, myopic, and also possessed by cockle demons, you shall be discarded and banished into the netherworld from whence you came. And now say again to those individuals truly in alliance with us at Nile Valley Ultra-Terrestrial Cosmic Network, continue your meditation with our meditation collectively to raise our vibrational frequency to the arc frequency for our collective divine utopian power, progress, protection, safety, security, sovereignty, and well-being during the course of this day and each forthcoming day. I now say to you all, Hotep, and stay tuned